Bangladesh awaits the swearing-in of its new interim government led by Nobel Peace Laureate Muhammad Yunus. This just days after ex-Premier Sheikh Hasina stepped down and fled the country. Mr. Yunus arrived at Dhaka's international airport hours ago. He was greeted by student protest leaders, as well as the military chief, who is currently leading the country in the wake of a post-protest power vacuum. Ahead of the swearing-in ceremony, Mr. Yunus called for law and order amid continued sporadic violence following weeks of protest.
আপনারা যদি আমার উপরে বিশ্বাস রাখেন আমার উপরে ভরসা রাখেন তাহলে নিশ্চিত করেন যে দেশে কোনো জায়গায় কারো উপরে হামলা হবে না ইনশাআল্লাহ
Years of pent-up frustration and anger over corruption and human rights abuses by the ruling class, coupled with an uncertain economic future, has driven an explosion of protests over the last few weeks in Bangladesh, culminating in the ouster of a long-standing prime minister. Now with the Hasina government gone, new leaders have a laundry list of things they have to fix as they try to usher in a new dawn in Bangladeshi politics. On the economic front, the new government needs to find a way to bring foreign investment back to its shores, create jobs for locals and rebuild the economy. And that must include finding a way to grow its key garment industry. There have been also calls as well for more protection for religious and ethnic minorities. During protests, some Hindus were attacked due to their perceived closeness to the Hasina camp. A third, those responsible for crimes against demonstrators need to be brought to justice. The newly appointed police chief has apologized for the conduct of his forces, pledging to carry out, quote, an impartial probe into the killing of protesters. But analysts say more still needs to be done to rebuild a once vibrant democracy and civil society. But switching from ingrained autocracy to democratic rule will not be easy. Protesters have kept the momentum of revolution going, leading to the swift release of political prisoners, including former Prime Minister Khalida Zia. Those calling for change have also stressed the need for a level playing field for opposition parties to bring in free and fair elections. The student-led movement has rejected a military-led or supported government, standing firm on their goal to, quote, abolish fascist systems forever. Our leader of the interim government, that's Muhammad Yunus, has expressed hope that elections will be held, quote, within a few months. The army chief has pledged to ensure a smooth transition from military to civilian rule. But trepidation lingers over Bangladesh. The country is trying to fill the leadership void amid concerns that the army could go back on its word and strengthen its grip on power. And for more, Ishan Garg joins us live from New Delhi. Ishan, what can we expect? Hours from now, Mr. Yunus will be sworn in along with his new government. What can we expect of his new cabinet?
Well, the names of the people who are going to be included in this cabinet and the responsibilities are all shrouded in secrecy so far. We've not been able to get any information about the number of people who are going to be included here or the names of those people. But reports coming out of Bangladesh are saying that it's expected that the cabinet will be ranging from 11 members to 15 members. There are also local media reports saying that various stakeholders who are now trying to fill the power vacuum after Sheikh Hasina left the country, they have presented their own set of demands before the president, under whose guidance this entire interim government is going to be formed. There's obviously going to be Muhammad Yunus, who will be the chief advisor to this cabinet. But we're also learning through local media reports that the student protesters have recommended at least 2 people. There have been recommendations made by the opposition parties in Bangladesh of about 3 to 4 different members. The president himself is likely to nominate nominate 2 members to this cabinet. And it's understood that Muhammad Yunus also has 2 to 3 members in his mind that he would like to be a part of this interim government. But apart from that, all eyes will be on Muhammad Yunus himself, this international man of acclaim who is now being thrust into this position where he has to set the country on a solid footing at a time when the country is going through a massive crisis. In terms of preparations, we're already seeing that the Banga Bhavan, the president's resident in Dhaka, is already being prepared. We understand that about 400 guests are going to arrive there, and all eyes again will be on Muhammad Yunus, who is going to take charge of this newly formed cabinet, this interim government.
All right. Ishan, of course, concerns not just domestic. India certainly concerned enough just 2 days ago holding in Parliament a cross-party meeting about what's happening in Bangladesh. With this change in leadership at so many levels in Bangladesh, can we expect a shift in relations between India and Bangladesh?
Well, India certainly would want to keep very close ties with Bangladesh. It would ideally hope to not have the ties change at all, because Bangladesh is crucial for India's foreign policy initiatives. It's also crucial for India to maintain close ties with the new government in Bangladesh, because these two countries share more than 1,000-kilometer long border. Bangladesh is an immediate neighbor, and it's one of the neighbors in India's backyard that has so far preferred to partner with India on more occasions than it has with China, which is absolutely crucial for the administration in New Delhi. Now, India's Ministry of External Affairs has given a press briefing during which it was asked multiple times if the Indian government has reached out to the army chief in Bangladesh, or if it has reached out to potential members of the interim government. And India's position is that it is too soon to say if they're going to change their tack as far as the foreign policy with Bangladesh is concerned. They are saying that there will obviously be some talks between India and between the new Bangladeshi government. But experts also saying that while Hasina is in New Delhi, it will be complicated because India does not want to be seen as providing shelter to Sheikh Hasina, who is deeply unpopular at this moment, while also trying to maintain close ties with a new government there.
Oh, thanks for that. Ishan Garg reporting it live to us there from New Delhi.